Hey everybody, this is Max the Dutch Gamer and welcome back to my channel. This week I asked my Instagram followers to ask me anything. Like last time, you guys were really creative and I'm going to answer every single one of your questions. So here we go. Roll the intro. So let's get right into it, shall we? The first question is in Spanish and it was by BL85Gamer. ¿Cómo terminaste en España? Or translated into English, how did you end up in Spain? So the answer to that is actually kind of easy. So I was born in Holland and my parents moved to Spain when I was 6 because we already owned a house here and life here was just slightly better than in Holland. More sunshine, better food. What's not to love? Next up is a barrage of questions by Azure Gaming. Hey man, how you doing? His first question is, what's your favorite type of game? So my favorite kind of games are adventure games like Legend of Zelda. Big fan of these. I'm also a huge fan of RPGs like Knights of the Old Republic, Skyrim, and of course Mass Effect, which will be coming out soon as a remaster. Can't wait for that one. His next question is, what's your favorite game soundtrack? So my favorite game soundtrack comes from a game I don't actually own physically yet. So my favorite game soundtrack comes from a series I don't actually own physically, and I'm talking about the Ori games. The soundtrack is so magical and these games really deserve a playthrough, so if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and play these games. They're so worth your time. His next question is, what's your favorite console? Well, that's really easy. You can see it over here. Here. The Nintendo 64. I have such fond memories with the Nintendo 64. I still remember playing Mario 64 for the first time and being blown away by the graphics and the freedom. I mean, seeing Mario in 3D for the first time was just... Not to mention that this console just has a ton of awesome games. Let's just turn around and see my collection. Oh man, so many good games to choose from. I mean, my favorites are definitely Mario Party. For obvious reasons. It's the best multiplayer game in the world. Banjo-Kazooie, Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, GoldenEye. I mean, the list goes on and on. Is the N64 the best console ever created? Probably not, but it is for me. His next question is, who's your favorite game character? Well, that's really easy. It's obviously Link from The Legend of Zelda. There really hasn't been a series that has excited me more than the Legend of Zelda series, and I honestly can't wait to play Skyward Sword again when it releases this July. July? Not sure which one of those it is, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. His next question is, what's your favorite game? Well, I don't actually have a favorite game, it's just too many good ones to count, but I do have a couple of my favorites here in my hands today. Obviously, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Shenmue 1, not so much 2, but 1 is absolutely brilliant and it changed the way I saw games. Final Fantasy X, to me, the best Final Fantasy. And let's not forget about Metal Gear Solid. To me, I mean, all these games I've mentioned are among my favorites of all time. I don't actually have a favorite game, I have a ton of games that I consider my favorites. Oh yeah, Mass Effect, of course, Mass Effect. Please look out for the remaster coming out in a couple of weeks. Single player or multiplayer or both? Single player for sure. I mean, I have nothing against playing with my friends, but I just love getting my headphones on and really digging into a good game. That's the best time I can have with video games right now. Right now I'm playing Resident Evil 7 and it's terrifying! That's a game you can only play on your own. How much free time do you have to play? Well, not much. I mean, to be honest, I work from 8 in the morning till 6 in the afternoon every single day of the week, which doesn't leave me much time to play, especially since I'm a dad. And when I finish work, I spend time with my kid and my family. And when my family finally goes to sleep, it's about 11 o'clock at night and then I'm devastated. So the only time I actually play games is on Friday nights and in the weekends. And even then I don't have much time. So I spend approximately 4 to 6 hours a week on games. That used to be a whole lot more. Modern dad problems. Which new games are you waiting for? Well, obviously, the Mass Effect Trilogy remaster, Skyward Sword. I'm going to be receiving a ton of limited run games. The House in Fata Morgana, for example. To the Moon. The Scott Pilgrim package. Oh, I'm looking forward to that one. And another game I'm really looking forward to is the new Elder Scrolls game, which we've heard nothing about for way too long. Not to mention Starfield. Bethesda, give us what we want, please. And the last question by Azure Gaming is actually in Spanish. ¿Crees que sería interesante tener un canal de YouTube en español? Would you think it'd be interesting to have a YouTube channel in Spanish? Well, that's an easy question to answer. I barely have time to spend time with this channel, let alone do a secondary channel in Spanish. But I'm definitely thinking about it. I've got a friend who wants to do a channel with me in Spanish, so maybe that's a project for the future. Who knows? I'll let you know. Keep you posted. And now a question about my good Instagram pal Maximilian X. If you could have one arcade machine, what would it be? If no, what retro console would you like to own and its library? Well, to be honest, I already own all retro consoles I want to own, but there's one arcade machine that I definitely want to add to the collection, more than anything because of the memories it holds for me. When we first moved to Spain, my parents used to take me to this restaurant that had this amazing Street Fighter 2 cabinet. I spent hundreds and hundreds of pesetas on that arcade machine. Yeah, pesetas, old school Spanish currency. I mean, I still remember how cool the music was, the characters were, and how much I wanted to play it every time I walked into that restaurant. I mean, I begged my parents for money every time I walked in. I would really love to have it in that corner over there. Maybe in the future. And now a question by lovely Instagram regular Wonderlau92. Lauren, thanks for the question. What's the most you've ever spent on a game? I suppose you mean spent as in money-wise, right? I try to spend as little as possible, but when I have to spend, I spend wisely. I check eBay every so often, I check sales websites to see if there's any deals, and if there's any deals, I jump on them. I think the most money I've ever spent on something, gaming-wise, is on this thing over here, the Fire Emblem Three Houses Collector's Edition, which is absolutely brilliant. I obviously spend quite a bit of money on new consoles and stuff like that, but I tend to keep the pricings down on my new purchases. I don't mind waiting a bit until the price goes down on certain games just to buy whatever I want. So yeah, I tend not to spend too much money, if that answers your question. And now a question by another Instagram regular, El Rincón Independiente, in Spanish obviously. Un juego que hayas jugado y no recomendarías a nadie. A game that you've played and you wouldn't recommend to anyone. The answer to that question is The Sims. Don't play that game. Okay, let me explain. I'm pretty sure that there's tons of you out there who love The Sims, but I used to be a game tester at Electronic Arts and they made me test that game from the morning to the afternoon, non-stop, only Sims, and I did that for months on end. So I can't stand The Sims. I hate The Sims. I hate The Sims. But there's plenty of you that love it, so good on you. I don't like it at all. Kill it with fire. And now a question from another Instagram celeb, Mrs. Gamer. Which game got you into collecting games? I will subscribe to your channel. Well, thank you, Miss Gamer. I already thanked you on Instagram, but thank you here as well. You should all subscribe to her channel right now. So I've been collecting games for as long as I remember. So let's start at the beginning. The first game I owned was Tetris. And that game got me into gaming in general and collecting. And I've been collecting ever since. And I got this game when I was 6. Yeah, this is not all of my collection. There's plenty of boxes hidden around the house. So yeah, the game that got me into collecting and into gaming in general was Tetris. So the next question is by my Instagram buddy Retro Game Papa. Hey dude, how do you approach collecting in the way of what you would or wouldn't buy, or what you hunt for? And what would be your ultimate goal? The ultimate collection to own? I'm a different kind of game hunter. I don't want every game that's in front of me. I don't want every Nintendo game. I don't want every 3DS, N64 or Xbox game. I just don't. Nearly all the games I have on my shelf today and in boxes over there are games that I used to own a couple of years ago. Years ago I used to live in the basement of my parents' house, which flooded and destroyed my entire game collection. Thousands of euros of games were lost and I never got them back until I started recollecting them all recently. And I'm glad to say that I've got most of them back. So that's good news. So to answer your question about what I hunt for, well, I love N64 games, so complete in-box CIB N64 games, 3DS, NES, Game Boy, Switch, and even OG Xbox games are the things I look for most. And I also really like amiibos. these things here. These are the new ones. You can't really see them. I'll do another video on those later because I have like 50. So my ultimate goal is to have the collection that I used to have. Not to mention some new Switch games, some new Xbox games, some limited run games here and there, some more Game Boy games, some more 3DS games. I want all the games. Next question is by Pino Rodriguez Art. Visit his channel. Cool stuff on there. Do you like Max Verstappen? LOL. Well, I used to watch a ton of Formula 1 before the pandemic started, and now with the pandemic I haven't really been watching it, but I should be because Max is absolutely kicking ass. So yes, I definitely like Max Verstappen and I hope he beats Hamilton into a pulp. Another question by Pino is, which game can take you back to a specific moment you cherish? So one of the biggest gaming moments I cherish was playing Pokemon for the first time with my buddies on the school bus on my way to school. I mean, there was something special about collecting every single Pokemon on this cart and then trading with your friends to get the whole lot in your Pokedex. It's one of the moments I cherish the most because it just showed me how much fun you could have with your friends while playing games. Something that was made even more possible with the 4-player option on the N64. But definitely, this game changed everything for me. So now a question from another one of my Instagram regulars, Service Gamer. Hey dude, how many hours can you spend playing games with your little son around? Well, I'm very thankful that he actually loves watching me play video games. He loves Animal Crossing, he loves Mario Kart, he loves playing Mario 64 from Mario 3D All-Stars. I mean, all this is going to be his one day, so yeah, I'm definitely going to have to try to get him into this, or else I'll have to sell it all at some point. I will never sell it. So yeah, to answer your question, I only play Friday to Sunday and at nighttime when everyone's asleep. So not many hours at all. So another question by Service Gamer is, what is the most expensive game that you have ever bought? So I already answered that question before for Lauren. I don't generally buy very expensive games. I tend to wait for a good deal and jump on it. So yeah, I think the most expensive game I ever bought was the one you saw before. The collector's edition of Fire Emblem Three Houses. Really good game. What is your favorite Sega game is his next question. No surprise there, it's Skies of Arcadia. Skies of Arcadia. What a game! I mean, I know you can't find it anywhere nowadays and it's only available for the Dreamcast and the GameCube, but it's one of the best JRPGs out there with the best story, the coolest characters, great music. I mean, it's such a pity they never remastered or remade this. I so hope they do that. Sega, give me what I want. Next question by Service Gamer is, what is your favorite Xbox game? I'll stick to current gen because I just love all of the old Xbox games. But my favorite Xbox game nowadays is Gears of War. Gears of War 5 is really good too. I played all of them, I think they're all absolutely awesome, and Gears 5 is no different. It's absolutely brilliant, and if you have an Xbox, you owe it to yourself to play it. Well done, Xbox. So now a question by Retro French Gamer. What was your first console? The Game Boy. When we first moved to Spain when I was 6, my mom saw that I was really sad that I had to leave all my friends behind, and she saw me sulking one day when we were walking through the streets of Benidorm on the Spanish coastline and said, "I'm gonna buy you a gift." My mom walked into an electronics store and walked out with a game pack including this Game Boy and Tetris. Not to mention Super Mario Land as well. With that gift, my mom turned that frown upside down and also kickstarted my game collecting frenzy. And I've been collecting and playing games ever since. Thanks, Mom. Next question is by the Naomi Nader. What has been your favorite pickup ever and what has been your favorite game story-wise? So my favorite pickup ever happened just before the pandemic kicked off last year. I was looking for a Wii console in good condition and I found this person who was selling it for really cheap online. I saw it was an older lady who was selling her son's entire Wii collection and a couple of 3DS games for absolutely no cash at all. She was selling the Wii for €25 and the rest of the games for €2 or €3 a pop. Ridiculous. And it contained all the heavy hitters from the Wii catalogue. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, No More Heroes. I mean, the lot. It was absolutely bizarre how good the deal was. And she also threw in a couple of 3DS games in there to boot. I think I spent about €50 in total and I got the Wii console and a ton of games. My god, it was brilliant. And to finish up, when I thanked everyone on my Instagram post for posting all these wonderful questions, Retro Game Papa came with one more. He said, "You're welcome, but I have one more question. Why?" Well, to that I say, why not? So I know I've already thanked every single one of you on my Instagram channel, but I also want to thank everyone over here, and I want to thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, it really helps me out, and I look forward to making more fun content for you in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.